Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where first things first, there was just a 50-some gigabyte patch. I don't know what's up with that. There don't appear to be any posted patch notes, maybe they'll show up later, but presumably that changed some things. As you can see, I've reworked this shoreline over here a little bit and made it a little cleaner. I want to do the same thing out over here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the level terrain tool. We're just going to grab this height for right now, and I just want to take this out so that we have this at, this altitude instead of the crazy altitude. The crazy altitude was a temporary thing, and I just want to have it be more along the lines of this for the moment. Okay, so something like that. Now, the water situation is going to be awkward pretty much the whole way through, right? No doubt about that. We'll see how it ends up sorting out here. I'm not entirely sure on how the fluid dynamics in this game works. So I don't know if making this all be one level is a problem or not. It might be. And if it is, we'll figure it out. As we can see here, there's a little bit of a drain spot here. And we can definitely see the fluid flowing out of here. So hopefully that is something that will continue to happen. And hopefully the overall water level will continue to drop. However, I am seeing up over here, this water has flown down this street. We should probably create some sort of an outlet over here. So to that end, I'm going to turn way down our brush size, and I'm going to try to use the slope terrain tool. I was trying to do this a bit off camera. I haven't fully figured out how this thing works. But we can just do something kind of like that, I think, to create an outlet over here. So now this water that is down here has somewhere to go. Although there's going to be some that's going to pile up over here, but that's probably okay. I like how we're just immediately into this. Okay, there we go. There, let's just have music. Thank you very much. We don't need additional commentary. Okay, so there's definitely some nonsense going on in here, right? I want this water to continue to flow down here, and then to just go through this outlet. That's the idea. And we'll see if it does. Now, up over this direction, the water is kind of just chilling, right? But I do want to get the terraformation done over here at least a little bit better. So we'll use the level terrain tool, and we're just going to carve this back a little bit, about like so. It doesn't have to be perfect. We can always come through and touch it up later. For now, we're just looking to get rid of this giant wall. That's the primary goal at this moment. And I'm just going to do this in terms of height by meta block for right now. So we're just going to take this right up over here, like so. Just carve this back a little bit. That was more than I wanted. No doubt about that. So we'll just ease that back in a little. It doesn't have to be perfect, though. Although we do want to have this over here be able to access water. That would be good. So what do we have going on here? I guess it's underground? Oh, that's just water. That is just water being weird. Okay, sure. So I'm just going to bring this out a little bit to about here. Okay, now we're going to grab this altitude. Actually, I'm going to grab this altitude. And this is what we're going to set this meta block to. And we're just going to go through and eliminate this rather large wall here. I don't want this huge outcropping here, so we'll just take that back a smidgen. There we go. And we'll grab this altitude again. And we'll just push our way through like so. Now, this will cause some issues with the water, but for now, we're temporarying this, right? So I'm just going to grab this altitude right here. And we're just making sure that this is not hopefully going to be buggy by having some amount of margin there. That's the idea anyway. We'll smooth all of this out once we get the water situation a wee bit more under control. So let's just get this hill on out of here. After all, we do not need to have these ridiculous cliffs. And we were never planning to have them. This was just a temporary measure. Ah, we need a different altitude here. Right, this is a different meta block, so that would be okay. This is high enough. Although we do see a significant change over it, we'll smooth it out later. So for now, this is reasonably fine. I just want to get these cliffs addressed because they look terrible, but they were a quick way to push out our terrain a little bit. But they do look absolutely terrible. Okay, we're going to grab this altitude now and just go for something along the lines of this. Just looking to push straight on through. And yeah, we're going to certainly run into some things like that. There's a big altitude change here, right? That's absolutely the case. A big altitude change. And that's okay. So we can just do something kind of like that. And that is better. It's not, ideal, but it is better. We're going to have some water splashing up over here. For the moment, that's okay. And yeah, we can see there's some definitely wacky bits up over here, but as the water ticks, it should get that under control, in theory. Now, I am going to make these a lot slopier, and oh, this is awkward. This is presumably due to the highway. Yeah, this is due to the highway and the water level. So technically, this is going to fill up until it goes through there. That's maybe not terrible. So this will fill up until it raises to this water level. We can have these as like makeshift levees. And we can kind of set the water level with that. That's intriguing. Now we've got things like this, which are imperfect. But like I said, we're going to get back to that soon enough. I want to check in on this status over here. The water's just kind of chilling right now. I don't actually know that it's drying out, to be honest. And that does mean that we need things like an outlet over here, and that is exactly what I want to put in. So we're going to grab our slope terrain tool. I'm going to grab like this position. We're going to go down to 10. And we're just going to bring this straight on down. Like that. So now there's an outlet right through here. And the water can just pour on out down this way. Cool. I also want to grab the level terrain tool and we'll do something like that. Okay. So now the water has a place to drain down here and a place to drain down here. So in theory, that should do the trick. Now, I don't necessarily love this place to drain. I'm actually going to put one in using the slope terrain tool right there as well. And actually, I may just grab the level terrain tool and close this one up. Okay. There we go. So now we have a drain location here, and we have a drain location here. So the water should be coming out now, and I believe it is. I do believe that this water is coming out. Of course, we do have some problems over here, no doubt about that. There's a lot of water here, and what is going on over here? That's not that big of a problem, I don't think, but we just have like the water plane is like raising up here because of this area. As this drains out, that should, I think, get taken care of. There's a lot of water there though, and it'll take a while to drain. But that's the idea at this point. That water should be draining out, and we'll just let the water level approach particular areas. So every time we have one of these meta blocks, we can use this like a levee, right? And we can essentially set the water height of everywhere that is behind it with that. So the way that I would want to go about doing this is we would like use the level terrain tool here, right? And we would grab this guy. And then we would just bring this out. And we could do that not necessarily at the meta blocks because it might actually be a little awkward to do it there because of the highway. So I think taking this down to about 50%, but setting it at 100% brush strength. And then we just go about here or so, right? And then we just take this out and bring it across like that. Now, we can use the soften terrain tool to smooth it out a little bit and have it be something a bit more like that. I don't love it. Let's actually bring this back up to 100. And let's just have it be about like that. So what that's going to do is that's going to set this water level to be at least here, right? And that's not necessarily exactly what we want. Really, what we want over here is for this water level. Well, because of the dam, I kind of do want it to be here. Yeah, I'm just thinking about this right now. I want to have this water level be actually more like, even like here. So we just put this guy in, right? Just like that, straight across. Then we can soften it out over here. About like that. And then we can soften it out over here as well without actually cutting all the way through it. Okay, now this is going to become a reservoir, and it will fill up as it flows through the dam, in theory. Assuming it is flowing through the dam, technically I don't see it falling here, but that may or may not actually matter. So that means that there's now no source of water over here, at least temporarily. And yeah, we've collected a little bit of water over here. I'm not too concerned about this water. That's reasonably fine for the moment. There is, of course, some water back here, and we can fix that by using our landscaping tool and leveling out this terrain to be right here, right? And we can just bring that gently out over here. About like that. We can just grab that level, and there we go. That'll do for the moment. This will need to get cleaned up a bit more. But the question now is, what is this behavior going to be like? So this is really more of a learning process of how exactly the fluid dynamic system in this game works, right? So this is going to become a levee, and it's going to mean that the water level here has to be above this to proceed. So the water level here should be slowly filling up, and then we can just keep doing this on the way down. That's the idea. Now, we do have a lot of demand right now for low-density housing. I do believe that we have water flowing out over here, perhaps. I think that we've had less water over here. There's still a lot of water here, though. Now, this is, I believe, a low point over here. So we may want to put in another slope terrain tool and, of course, turn this way, way down in size, and then just run that out like that. So that gives us another drain point here. I think this is a low point, and I think it goes back up. Actually, I think this is the low point, and then it goes back up. So we might want to have another drain point, like right here, right? So I want to just grab this height and just put in a drain point there. So the water can drain on out of there. Now, there is no source for this water that is flowing this direction other than the ocean. So there's that. As far as this section here goes, we go down here. I'm not sure if there's a low point, but this is definitely still significantly underwater. So we have a drain point here, and in theory, that should be reducing. I don't know that it is, though. The fluid dynamics in this game seem a little strange. I'm not gonna lie. But whatever. We can certainly come up over this direction and start expanding up here while we're waiting for the fluid dynamics to even out a little bit, and I do think that that is a useful thing to do. So we can just bring this guy up and over. So right there, and then this is in water. Yes, it's a bridge. That's how this works. I think we might actually need to... No, I don't think we need to do that. Maybe we just need to start it here and bring it over. It's claiming that this is in water right here. Well, yeah, it's a bridge. This is how bridges work. Okay, that's mildly wacky. It does not want to connect here. I'm going to take this section out and see, is that just like the pillar is in the wrong spot? Perhaps.
A driving advisory has been
It
issued.
really doesn't want to build this here. Okay.
Poor road conditions. Please exercise caution.
Like
if you
really
must drive,
badly.
and try to stay off the streets until conditions improve.
So what
This
happens
has
if we
been
just
a
take
local
this
public
section of
service
highway out of
announcement.
here and just rebuild it?
You're
That's my
tuned
question.
into Second Moon, the channel where the classics never
Yeah,
grow
it thinks that it's going to be in the water here. So do we just have the wrong altitude? Apparently. Well, that's still considered in water.
You can now shop for designer shoes while sipping a fancy local jar.
Intriguing. The in-water point is back here.
That's good for business and good for the community.
Okay.
Thanks.
Clearly the water is messing things up. There's no doubt about that. So if we look at the status of this guy, yeah, the fluid dynamics in this game are wacky. No doubt about it. This still hasn't resolved down. It absolutely would have in City Skylines 1 by now, and this would have been filling up.
Might want to wait a little while until everything clears up.
So that's intriguing. We definitely had this eventually fill up, though, so I think it just moves very, very slowly. That might be what's going on here. I do think that this is less underwater now. And we've added the drain points, of course, of over here and over here. Now, this drain point, I don't think is being reached anymore. I don't think it's being reached. So there is that, and these drain points absolutely are. There absolutely is water coming out here, and it's absolutely at a lower level than this water up here. So it absolutely should be exiting. That's the idea, anyway. I think there is less water here now. I'm like 45% sure of that. I think it's just very, very slow. So to that end, we should probably let this tick forward and continue to work on another area. And that area might end up being down here because that is significantly away from the river. And we can just let that work on finishing up, right? So this is currently, the highway is here. What I want to do is I want to get the roads built here, or at least enough of them that we know where we're going. So let's get rid of this section of road just so that we can measure this out. Go to 112. And then this would go right out over here. 224 seems approximately correct. Yep. That seems good. And then this would go up over here. Yep, that seems fine as well. So that's 3 roads. We need another set here. So taking this down to 113 is close enough. This is 224 here, and there we go. So that's 4 sets of roads. The next one needs to be a highway. So this will go to here. The highway now goes over top of this road going horizontally. So that'll be right here, like that. So we'll just put that in as a marker, and in theory, that should line up here almost perfectly. Looks like we are a little bit off, but that's probably fine. This highway will, of course, extend down this way, and I do want to work on that here. So that means we'll be knocking back these sections of highway, right? And we're going to bring this guy. This does not look straight at all. I'm going to knock back this section of highway, and we're going to bring this straight down. That is straighter. Yeah, that is straighter. So we would just put it like right here. Yep. I don't think it's perfectly straight, but it's close enough. So that'll be fine. We'll just take this guy down to... Where was that? Here. And then we'll link that up over here. Perfect. And of course, we're going to need these highways. So 2-lane, 1-way highway. That is going to be here, and it's going to connect up over this way. That's giving invalid shape and slope too steep, so we might need to have these combine further back. Okay, so it's going to be something like this, right? So we're going to take this down and put it in right there. That's going to have to be flipped around, of course, like that. And then this section is going to be taken out. We're going to use the curve tool here. And we're just going to bring that guy right on in like that. There we go. Now we need to get this highway coming out. So that will be about right here, and it'll come down there. And then we'll have, out of this lane, it'll come in about like that. And we don't want to have that merge in. Okay, so it'll be about like that guy now. Now the question is, can we slap a roundabout in here? The answer is no, we can't. Okay, I should have checked that first. So we're going to put in the roundabout first here. But we've got these guys joined together where they need to be, approximately anyway. And so we can grab our 2-lane one-way highway. And this one is going to want to come up over here. That gives slope too steep, but we can actually connect it in like this. Cool. And then this guy, that gives invalid shape here. But I do want to have it come out over this way, right? So invalid shape. Yeah, it's pretty much giving us invalid shapes up here. I'm going to take this out of here for now, though. I really don't like having this be removed, but whatever. It'll be okay, I hope. So we would look to have this guy come down about like so. That slope too steep, but we can do that. Okay, now we can have this lane here be the one that connects over here. And then this lane would connect up over this way, about like that. Okay, that kind of works. Kinda. So if we do this, what happens if we put the roundabout back in? I mean, this is temporary. It works. It's good enough. So now, of course, we're going to need to grab this highway. And we slap that guy right in here. Now, that's 180 degrees, so we can tell we're slightly off on our angling, but it's okay. We'll consider that good enough. There we go. Cool. Next up, we are, of course, bringing this highway straight on down to here. Nope, not curve tool. Thank you very much. Straight on down to here. That didn't go. Right, we're on the wrong altitude here. Okay, that's technically like 89 degrees. There, we'll bring it in like that. That'll do. And we slap in the roundabout for now. And now we can fill in our roads over here. Watch us have instant issues with pillars on this highway because I built it first. It is easier to build it first as the guidelines, so this is the wrong type of road. Okay, let's go back in over here. There we go. And just bring this guy out. This, of course, needs to be 224 meters over here, or approximately that. That's 232 meters. Okay, whatever. It's close enough. I'm sure it'll be fine. So this will now be right here. It just needs to align with this grid, right? That's the important thing. So we'll just take that on up over this way. And right on up over here. Okay. Now this section of highway can be brought over, but I want to just get this connected up first. There we go. And we are going to bring this guy straight on down, of course. Yep, that'll do. And we'll slap in our roundabout. That is invalid shape, slope too steep. It's over here where the problem is, so we'll take that out for the moment. And we'll put in the roundabout. And we'll get the highway brought back in. Okay, no problem. So that'll do for the time being. We, of course, want to... I think it's because of the slope of the land. I'm just looking at that and thinking that doesn't look all that straight. But I don't know. We'll see here. So if we were to hypothetically bring this out over here. No, that's reasonably straight. Okay. So we'll just slap that in here. Of course, we've got a pillar right here. So we'll need to eliminate that for the moment. And run the road through. Oh, we're still running into an issue here. Oh, it's because it's got a wall there. Okay, that'll do the trick. So we'll just bring this guy right up over here for now. And then link that in. Cool. And then something along the lines of that. That'll do. So, of course, we're going to have an issue with this highway. Yeah. Angling is really bad here. On this side. Like, really, really, really bad. So I'm going to take that out for now. We're going to do something like this. I want to base it off of this position. So we're going to grab our highway here, and we're just going to bring this guy straight on over to here, right? So I want this on the 90-degree angle, but we're going to have to bring it in a little bit slower. I should really just build these roads here. But it's so much easier when we have the highway marker point. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this road down. And then put it here. Approximately. Okay, that'll do. And we're going to bring this guy over now. I would want to position it here, in theory. Yeah, we've got walls there. That's going to have to be handled. We don't actually want there to be walls there. But we can bring this guy in right here now. And then, like so. We slap in the roundabout in theory. We've got overlapping items here. Ah, there's a random pillar right here. That's really awkward. So I guess we need to take these out of here. Random pillar is a problem. No doubt about it. So then we slap those in. This is much straighter now. So that's good. And then we can take our highway here. I want it to come out just a little bit to about here. Then we can take our 2-lane one-way highway. And that guy would go about here and would come in over here in theory. But that slope too steep. So we're going to need to back this off a little bit. That's not shocking, actually. So that would, of course, come out over this way, right? And would come in over here in theory. That slope too steep too. Which is rather remarkable. We can do it out here without a problem. Yeah, that is rather remarkable that that's giving us slope too steep when it has a little bit further to go. Sure, I guess that's fine. We can probably work with it. So that just means that we need to pull these a little bit further back, right? And then we can have something down over here. 23.8. That's an 18.9% grade. I guess what we do is we take it out this way. And we use the curve tool. And we figure out what kind of slope we can have here. This is all giving slope too steep. And I think it's because of that positioning there. So I want to have this be here then. Hang on. That's coming up with some very strange lanes. There's also this awkward pillar here. I think that needs to get taken out. Okay. So then this would in theory go like here-ish, right? And then it would come down like that. And try to stay off the streets until conditions. And then this goes underneath and would connect in on this side. And then this would connect in there. About like that. Now, of course, this needs to get flipped around, which is not shocking. Hang on. That needs to be 2-lane one-way highway. There we go. More like that. Now then, I want to get rid of this section. I really do want to have this come out a little bit more smoothly. So it would end up being something like
good to know, Jim. Seems like everyone is in a hurry to get somewhere fast.
And then these would really want to come in, but this is probably still going to give us that slope too steep. Actually, it doesn't. That works. So then could we bring it out over here? Oh, hang on. I wanted to be in curve tool. So curve tool is going to be what we take here, and then we bring that out over here. Okay, that works. Whatever. I don't know why that worked, but sure. And now we're, of course, really, really close to having this meta block done. Now, this is going to be a little bit off. There's not really too much we can do about that without rebuilding that section of road, which I'm not too interested in doing for a 1-degree angle. We can just fix that later on down the line, as in, like, we can compensate for it within the grid. It'll be okay. And then we can just bring that down. And then, of course, we'll want to extend these roads out to be this level, right? So that's going to need to be, like, right here, approximately. But we can just grab this guy here and bring it down to be Where are you at? So it's going to be like 224, right? Yeah, right there. So that'll give us our guidelines, and that will allow us to develop these areas a little bit further. Hopefully, very soon, the water will get itself under control. That would be nice. It doesn't seem to be too interested right now, but we'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. Oh, this is actually cleaned up over here a little bit, so that's good. This is going to start filling up then, and that's exactly what we want it to do. Although it's maybe a little bit on the high side over here. Yeah, I think we're going to want to drop that down a little bit. So let's do that really quickly here. I'm going to use the Soften Terrain tool at size 50, and we're just going to drop down this area. There we go. Over on this side, I just wanted it to be ever so slightly lower so the water level doesn't start flooding this road. We can also grab this guy, go down to 10, and just even it out right up over here. That didn't grab quite the height I wanted. This height, please. There we go. And we can just create ourselves a bit of a wall right here, right? And then the water will flow this direction instead of up here. That'll be perfect. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.